everyone, it's Moose and thank you so much for joining me back here. So, the other day I started a reading vlog for The Secret Life of Bees, and I will not be uploading it. One, because I only recorded one part, and two, I'm not going to finish that book. I think I'm going to DNF it, and I'll go more into it when I actually make my wrap up for the month, but it just wasn't for me. It's not that it was a bad book. It wasn't written poorly or anything like that. I just didn't find myself wanting to read it. It was more like I was making myself read it because I had already started it rather than I was actually enjoying it. And honestly, I just have so much stuff to read. I have so many books on my shelf already that I'm not going to waste my time on something that I'm not enjoying. I used to really struggle with that. I used to make myself finish a book even if I didn't really care much for it. And here recently, I've just kind of realized that there's no need for that. If I don't enjoy a book and I'm not getting anything from it, then there's nothing wrong with moving on to another book and just setting that one book aside. So, instead of this being a reading vlog for The Secret Life of Bees, I will be talking about Illuminae. This book was super popular a couple years ago on BookTube, so I picked this up this year, paperback, for under $5, for $4.50, which is pretty good. So I started this yesterday. I am 100 pages in. I am on page 101 right now. And I dig this. From what I've seen on BookTube, people either love this or it's really not their thing. And for me, I think it is definitely my thing so far. So for those of you who have no idea anything about Illuminae, it's not written in like a prose format, so it's not like a regular novel. I'll show you. So like it's a bunch of manuscripts and stuff from like a database that has been recovered. And so you see like some things are marked out because the database didn't want it included, or there's like interviews and stuff like that. There are like documents and stuff that has been recorded and kept in files. So it's kind of a collection of all of those different kind of formats put in chronological order, so you can kind of get a story of what is happening. So this story follows Ezra Mason, which is an 18-year-old boy, and Katie Grant, who is a teenage girl. And essentially this all happens at the very beginning. I'm not going to be spoiling the whole book, but at the very beginning, their planet blows up, essentially. It's kind of destroyed. I won't say how it's destroyed. And so they're placed on what's called the Alexander, which is basically a spaceship. But things start happening. Things start going wrong. Like I say, I'm only 100 pages into this book. There's 600 pages. It's 599 pages. So it's a pretty long book, but I am really enjoying it so far. I'm usually into fantasy books. I would definitely classify this as more of a sci-fi book. It is categorized under the YA section in bookstores and stuff like that, which I think is appropriate. So far, nothing has really happened to make it an adult novel, and the language and stuff that is used is definitely YA in my opinion. But I would definitely say it's a sci-fi YA novel, which honestly I don't read much of. And it's not one of those deals where I don't care for sci-fi. It's just not something I usually pick up. But after this book, maybe I'll pick it up more. Like I say, I'm only 100 pages in. Maybe something will happen like halfway through the book and I'll end up hating it. But for right now, I am really enjoying this. And I will keep you guys updated.
It is super bright outside right now. It is the next day. What you doing, Maggie? Say, Maggie loves my parents' house because they have a big yard and chickens just running around, and she loves to roll in the grass and have a yard to run around in. I've been reading. I'm still in my pajamas. Check it out. Undies wanting outside. You want outside? You coming? You were jumping against the door like you wanted to. Cutie. Come on.
Anyways, it's nice and bright outside today. West Virginia is definitely a four seasons kind of state for those of you who have never been to wild and wonderful West Virginia. My husband and I live right on the border of Alabama, so I often say that we just live in Georgia because he works in Georgia. But down there, it is still in the 90s. The upper 80s and upper 90s some days. So when I come back here and it's 50 and 60 degrees, I wear sweaters and pants, and it is very cold, but I think the dogs like it. I think they like the cooler weather to where they can actually go outside and not die.
Even though it is wet out here because it rained last night, Undy doesn't care. She is sunbathing without getting sunburnt. She's so cute. I love her so much. Underbite. Undy. What are you doing? Wow.
Hey guys, I'm back. Today was wash day, but I don't have any of my stylers here. And even though I don't have stylers, I've kind of been trying different techniques for when my hair dries, because I don't like, it takes too long to diffuse hair. If you have curly hair, you know what I'm talking about. It takes way too long. So I've just been trying different techniques for air drying. But that's besides the point. This is not a hair video. I do want to let you guys know I went to Goodwill a couple days ago now with Ethan's family. Thankfully, Ethan and I are from the same place. We're both from the same little area. So whenever we visit home, we get to see both of our families. And even though Ethan's not with me, his family is my family, so I still like to go hang out with them and stuff. And we went to Goodwill, and you guys know how I am about bargain shopping for books. So I picked up Mockingjay while I was at Goodwill for $2. It's a hardback, and it's in like great condition. Like, you could probably find this at a bookstore. Ethan and I are planning on reading through the whole series together because he's never read the Hunger Games series. And so anytime I go into a bargain shop, whether it's like a thrift store like Goodwill or like a, you know, Second and Charles or something like that, I just look for the Hunger Games books. And I found the last one. So I have an extra copy of the first one. We bought an extra copy of Catching Fire, and now I have Mockingjay. So when we go to read them together, we can actually have our own copies and don't have to read over each other's shoulders and stuff, because that's kind of awkward and weird. And we read at different paces anyways, so. Just thought I would share that with you guys if you have a Goodwill nearby and you like bargain shopping. They do sell books, a lot of them. So, but anyways, let's keep talking about Illuminae. Guys, I am digging this book. I'm like halfway through it right now. I'm on page 269, and it is so good. Stuff is getting ready to go down right now if you've read the book. Some stuff is happening with Aiden. That's all I'll say. That way, for those of you who have not read it, I will not spoil it for you. But overall, this book is not what I was expecting. But, to be fair, I wasn't expecting a lot. I don't really like to read the synopsis of books. And I don't really like to watch reviews and stuff of books unless I've read it before. Just because I like going into stuff kind of blind. That way I don't really have any expectations and I'm kind of just experiencing everything for the first time. You know what I'm saying? So picking up this book, I knew it was a sci-fi book and I knew that, you know, it took place in space and all that kind of stuff. But I did not know what it was. And I knew that it wasn't like a prose story. I knew that it was like files and stuff. But as far as the plot itself, I really had no idea anything about it, but I'm really liking it. So it's got a little bit of romance and stuff in there. It's kind of got a little bit of mystery. Not in like the traditional sense maybe, but I'm kind of just like constantly guessing like what's going to happen next, you know? It's kind of got a little bit of thrill in it, which kind of goes back to the mystery thing just because I don't know what's going to happen next. And even kind of a little bit of horror, because there's just this like lingering feeling that something bad is going to happen. I really don't know where the book is going to go from here because I am halfway through, and what's getting ready to happen I feel like is the climax. But it's only halfway through the book, so I feel like this book is going to take some twists and turns that I'm not expecting, but I'm here for it, and I will keep you guys updated on how I feel about it. Let's see. T-bone steak. You want that this morning? You want some? Come here. You want this morning? Stuff is so nasty. There you go. So, hey guys, good morning. It is 9:30 this morning, Tuesday. I'm going to try to upload this video on this day anyways after I finish this vlog. So, good morning, or good afternoon, or whenever you're watching it. I did finish Illuminae. It's all done, all 600 pages of it. And I'm sorry I didn't vlog more of it. I don't vlog when family's home. It's just not something I'm comfortable with. Whether I'm here with my parents or whether I'm with Ethan. I don't want to make them uncomfortable. I don't know that my parents would understand. Ethan would understand. He's very supportive of what I do here. But still, I don't want to take our time away from each other with me shoving a camera in his face. So that's why I didn't record the last of me reading Illuminae. I read it over the weekend, and my mom had yesterday off, so we spent the day together. We went shopping, and we went to Goodwill, and I'm such a bargain shopper, not just with books, pretty much for everything, so my mom and I really like Goodwill. Anyways, back to Illuminae. This book might be my favorite book out of the year so far. I devoured this book. It usually would take me over a week to get through 600 pages just because I don't like to rush when I read. I like to just take my time, and if I have to reread a page 2 or 3 different times to really get what it's saying, I don't care to do that. I like to understand the story instead of just rushing through it. But first of all, I want to say I think the formatting helped with this book. It was very interesting. I never read anything like this before, you know, just comprised of different data files and stuff. Was so neat, and the story was good. I'm not much of like a thriller horror type of book person. I usually stick more to the fantasy realm, YA, and even classics, but this, totally dig it. I really enjoyed this book, and I think it has so many different components in it. It is definitely sci-fi just because it takes place in space. It has to do with AI and all of those different kind of aspects, but there's definitely some romance in there as well. I would say horror, thrill. There's themes of war and battles and family and all that kind of stuff going on in this book too. It's very sad at some points. This book is definitely dark and sad and kind of depressing at times. There is a lot of death in this book. It can get kind of graphic at times. I mean, it describes how people die in some instances. So if you're not into that kind of stuff, maybe just look out for this book. Maybe stay away from it, because it can get kind of sad at times. And there were times where I was just like, this cannot be happening, but very good. It's just a whole bunch of stuff just thrown into one book, but it all works together, I think, and I really enjoyed it. So I am going to talk about some of the stuff that I thought about when reading the book, but if you have not read the book and you don't want spoilers, stop watching it here, because I'm not really going to hold back in what I have to say. I'm just going to talk about some stuff that I want to talk about with this stupid book. So here's your chance. Goodbye. Thank you for watching if you decide to leave right now. So if you're still here and you want to talk about Illuminae, first of all, let me just point out that I do think, because of the format, that the romance aspect of it was a little awkward, but kind of realistic. When you're not talking to someone face to face or using your voice, you know, either whether it's a telephone call or FaceTime or anything like that, when you're just text, it can be kind of awkward to express how you feel, especially when you're a teenager. Whether you're a teenager now, whether you were a teenager recently, like myself, or you are yet to be a teenager, we all know how awkward talking to someone that you like can be. So the interactions between Ezra and Katie were kind of awkward at times. But with that being said, I still like their romance. I still like the relationship. I think it's interesting. And I really want to read the next book to see where it goes. And this is what I'm saying, spoilers coming up. Because when Aiden told Katie that Ezra was dead, I wanted to cry. And like reading that, I was just like, dang. Because that was my one hope throughout the book, is that they would both make it. And they did in the end, which I'm very, very happy about. But yeah, that got me. I guess the last thing I really just want to talk about is Aiden. Because I found that whole aspect very, very interesting. Especially in today's world where we have so much technology surrounding us every day, and AI is definitely a thing that they're working on and that they have created and that they're working towards advancing every single day. So just the thought of AI evolving and kind of taking on a mind of its own is scary, because I feel like it's so, I don't want to say realistic, but plausible maybe is the word I'm looking for. And I'm not here to make a big controversial video about whether you believe AI is going to take over the world or not. I don't necessarily believe that either. But I do think it's interesting to read a book like this and then to just compare it to the world that we're living in now. Because it is scary. And throughout the book, I just felt so helpless, because there really was nothing the people on the Alexander could do to stop it once they restarted Aiden. So yeah, I do think this book was really good. I really liked it. I want to read the rest of the series. Maybe not right away. I am already reading something else, and I haven't bought the other 2 books yet, but it was definitely good. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. It was a roller coaster. The video itself wasn't a roller coaster, but the book was a roller coaster. So I do kind of want to get back into vlogging a little bit more. I enjoy vlogs. If you guys enjoy vlogs, let me know down below. And again, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll be back here next time. See ya!